a top 4 finish in Split 1. Not bad, but by their standards, definitely a failure. They go to MSI, they finish top 2 in LPL. Okay, not bad. A little bit better. They finished top 4 at MSI. Obviously a slip from previous form, but I think it's still decent when you look at the lineups that they had to beat. Only losing to AL, T1, and Gen G, I think that those are reasonable other teams to be held in company of.
Yeah, absolutely. And now trying to put a little bit of a topper on all of that here, but so far not strong by BLG. JDG just seeming like the better team at this point. That's where so many question marks come from what has happened with JDG. Not only the craziness of what the support brought, and what was supposed to happen, what was supposed to be fate that didn't work out, obviously with Wink, and trying to figure out where was Scout for a majority of this split. And
oh yeah, the
biggest thing is you only need to show up when it matters most. You've made it to playoffs, you're in the big show, and now it's the big run. And if you're showing up then, if it doesn't matter how much doubt, how much lack of coordination and gameplay we were seeing from them, it is tough. And I think if Scout is gonna show up now, maybe that's the run that JDG need. But we are finally getting back to the point where we get the rel lock in. So it was the rel that was a little bit of that difference.
Oh, okay. So it was JDG's fault. All right. Well, there's no Alistar, so good enough. And I think does give you some ability to play in 2v2, even against the Xayah Rakan. We'll see what that option is going to be here as Peyz gets counter pick. They were teasing this. This has to be Nocturne Ori. Honestly, if BLG were real gangsters, if they slam their pick immediately, by the rules, JDG are not allowed to have a remake. So, BLG, you could have done it to them. You should have taken the advantage where you had it.
Should have just done it. I think, didn't they grab Alistar and he's just not available, though, because of Fearless?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Into the Alistar matchup, it's not great.
Then they just have to play 4v5.
Exactly.
Okay, I like it. Oh,
there we go.
No. It's not 4. It's not. You could have picked it at 4.
I feel like I called this draft, Lennon. I said Jin on 4 for JDG. We didn't get it on 4, but we ended up getting it.
We
see the Nocturne and the Nocturne and the Orianna. So easy combos. Execution is so important because BLG, they have a dive composition, but they don't have a lot of tank stats. And if you get into an extended fight versus a Cassante and a Rel, those cooldowns are going to come back up, and the Xin Zhao is going to be there. This could be incredibly dangerous here. JDG are now on match point. Every game from here on out is a best of 1 to decide who goes further in the upper bracket and who is going to have to spend one of their lives here in the playoffs.
What a team, though. BLG saying, we are backs against the wall, but we are going to give ourselves that bar of execution to get to. We believe in Beichuan coming back in and having that connection with Knight. We believe that this is not how we go out. And yes, it's a tough question to be asked, but you're asking Bin, you're asking Knight, you're asking Elk and On, who also have been at the top of their game in the LPL, to perform, to hands diff the entirety of JDG here. And it's do or die, at least in this series. And with that second life potentially waiting for them in that lower bracket.
On some of their most played champions of the split, Mbessa at 7, second most here for Bin. You have this Orianna, which honestly Knight has not put a ton in, but you look at Elkanon, 8 games both of them top of the leaderboard for the Xayah Rakan. So need to see it here from BLG. Need to see some signs of life from them, because this series has not at all been going their way. It has been JDG outhandedly or overhandedly just outplaying their opponents and being better on the map than BLG.
Well, it might just be JDG's home here to start it off, as we are at NIP's home of Shenzhen, as the stadium is full. And JDG making the first mark here, as they are dominant. They've had complete map control. Get the Gyos.
BLG Gyos need to be loud. They need to be loud. It doesn't matter. Got to be able to cheer for your team. Always got to have, cheer for the faith. So hopefully BLG can make this series something that is, worthwhile for them. I mean, we came in thinking that this was going to be kind of the current age giants. JDG have obviously had a little bit of slip in form when it comes to respect internationally speaking, but the last 3 years, JDG has been a top-level contender in the LPL.
Yeah.
BLG, in recent years, same kind of time frame, have been a top contender for the title. So we need to see both of these kind of teams and both these organizations potentially rise up.
Yeah, and you have to remember, Knight is a big part of what brought JDG to prominence back in the day. Yes, he's been on BLG for a long while, but there were some flippy floppies going through it for top esports and for JDG with Knight, and he was winning championship for everybody across the LPL. So let's see if he can get back to that form here as we get this early game going. A little bit of pressure in this 2v2, but again, it will be opposite side starts for both junglers.
And that's that 2v2 that we were talking about. Even with Azaya Rakan, this Rel and Jhin can be very, very oppressive early on if you can take certain trades. We already saw there's a heal out from On. Duo still has this summoner spell available to him, and they need to not wait for this wave, but the wave after to be able to bounce back towards them, just to make sure that Beichuan does not have any avenues.
Can we just take a moment as well to appreciate the Spellbook meta while we have it? That's 3 for 3 on both supports having Spellbook. And I'm a very happy camper here. As Peyz not much of a happy camper. He does take the grand entrance there, but does end up getting a little bit of damage back. Whoa. Ends up getting caught by that blade collar. Takes a brunt of damage, and BLG will regain some pressure in this 2v2.
That has been something we have seen throughout the series and throughout the year, honestly, is Peyz with whatever support matchup he has, the duo in lane hasn't been incredible. Duo obviously starts off the trade really well, but then him and Peyz get caught out. We saw it in Game 1, actually, in particular, where Peyz lost his cleanse incredibly early into the lane. So, already seeing it now. Are we going to get another swap? Yes, we are. We're back in the lane swaps, baby.
Right.
They may have put the lane swap detector just to get you out of the lanes, but
whoa. Whoa, at the flash. That's a little bit dicey there. There's going to be a gank in topside as Peyz comes to lane. Bin unsuspecting. He first picked this Ambessa. He wants to have success on it. Now he's going to be ran down by Sun and Peyz. He's like, why is this jungler fighting me right now? First blood goes over to JDG. Xiaoxu handles business in the bot lane.
And he'll be able to pick up all of these waves as the Cassante. Is this going to be the TP swap here? What is Bin going to do? Because he can just walk into this bottom lane, save his teleport, and look for a play elsewhere on the map. I think is a massive advantage going over to JDG, not only getting that kill, but Peyz gets this wave to himself, and now Shun gets to take his recall, full-on tunneler first back.
That's actually so massive. That enables some of those early skirmishes, and right before this paranoia comes out, that's the perfect time to kind of upend any of that pathing, any of that kind of setup that the Nocturne is going to be looking for. We do have a little bit of an engage in mid lane. Scout trying to use that Unraveled Earth to block the setup from On, but isn't going to find too much on it. And as we take a look, there's that killer record that Alk and On have on the Lovers duo, fittingly so for the duo that's been the standard for BLG and had been the standard for the LPL for a long time.
Jesus Christ, Knight, relax. I know we're down
Dude,
0-2 in the
angry,
series,
bro.
but he is just,
He's
this
gonna
is solo.
kill him.
Oh my god, that is so close. I mean, that is part of On helping him in the lane, but Scout has no teleport, and he's gonna miss out on this next wave, so this will equalize the experience differential between him and Knight. So, good find there from BLG to at least staunch some of the bleeding early game. All we need to watch is Beichuan, though. He's getting his another respawn Raptors here. He needs to get to level 6 soon.
Oh, Scout, you are dead. Okay, solo bolo for Knight as he takes control back of this mid lane in this series.
So dry. So dry.
That
like,
was, yeah.
Scout, you needed to take the recall, wanted
flash.
to greet another wave. I mean, sure, yeah. Xiaoxu, if he got a solo kill on the Bin, I think we're wrapping up this series. I think we're putting it straight into the bag.
I think Ben's got another idea here. He's going for the trade heavily on the Xiaoxu.
Oh, he's going to have 6 soon.
Okay for now. Yeah, he will. Soon will be spotted. Trying to stop Knight's back. He does delay the back of Knight a little bit, as Shun will take that ward in the end. Peyz and Guo are pushed off the wave in topside, but it looks like JDG want the early dragon.
My observers, I'm begging you, bro. If we're going to have...
Oh, Peyz, that was a greedy back, my dude. As he's getting the blade collar, he gets out of the sidestep. That's going to be a nice escape. He didn't burn flash, didn't burn barrier. Now we're getting to play on bot side, though. It is Sun here first. They're collapsing though. Beichuan, he doesn't have paranoia. Shun doesn't have his level 6 either just yet.
I wish that my observers didn't grief me on that first play. I'm going to be honest. Like, we're talking about Bin getting his level 6. We should be seeing the bottom lane wave there. JDG are going to have to get escorted out of mid. This is going to be BLG grabbing another wave in mid. And Beichuan gets Scuttle. And hell, dare I say, if Bin gets to push this next wave, he'll also get level 6. And he'll be able to very quickly move into this dragon.
Shun thought about it for a second. He thought about it for maybe more than a second. Now he's going to be tackled in his
Rakan's
jungle
here.
That is Beichuan level 6. He has the advantage to move in and take away the blue buff. And that's the problem. The Gromp is up too. They could just snowball this into taking multiple, but Shun's going to try to sneak around and take this one out before they can.
There's pings onto mid. They want to see if they can get Flash. Scout has to be careful.
The Unraveled Earth is so big here, though.
That single ward right there spots out members of BLG before they get into the bush. So impactful there to save that lane. Beichuan just got 2 of these bottom side camps. They'll probably even take the dragon. This is coming down to BLG's or to JDG's bottom lane, not being in a great spot to really apply pressure on the rest of the map. Wow, shouldn't even get 6 off of that. That's great.
All right, well, a little bit of flex in there. And Shun's going to go to his top side now. We are getting the mega ping coming in top as well as setting up a play on the other side. But it's just going to return to lane states here. No dragon early, and Grub's coming up now.
Lennon, I'm disappointed. JDG's bot lane, they've had some struggles so far, but Dwo was sitting in lane this entire time, while On is moving around the map, getting vision, helping his jungler get priority. It's a tough look here right now for JDG. This is probably the best early game we've seen from BLG.
Peyz just keeps eating the engages from On over and over again. Can't do much as the Jhin. He is still holding on Flash, and that barrier has been holding on to it this entire time as the Grubs are going the way of BLG. And that's full objective control so far, especially with the lack of the Dragon Prio going BLG's way. All 3 Grubs.
No Peyz for them to be able to move on forward. JDG look weak in this early game, and BLG, I mean, 3 Grubs for this team is awesome. Being able to hit turrets is going to feel even better with the range that they have. Let's see if Xiaoxu can get a little bit of work done here. There's no dragon taken quite yet. I feel good, though. I feel good if I'm a BLG fan. This is definitely the spot we want to be in, and we have a dragon that looks like is going to be the next play for both of our squads.
Paranoia Shockwave, and you can't get away from that when it's executed beautifully. He does get the seismic shot back, and Beichuan's going to be forced to flash away. That was the combo we needed to see, and BLG rise to the occasion there.
Scout will be up in 15 seconds and does have the Weaver's Wall, but JDG, I have to think that you're not going to be looking for this play. No flash on a Beichuan maybe dissuades the ability for BLG to make this. Knight's going to teleport back into this, and there's no TP here for Bin.
Back away. Some of this early lead feeling good for BLG. Feels like they finally showed up to the occasion. It will still end up being JDG trying to take down this dragon. Will be spotted out though. You could see Beichuan move over, try to contest this one, and On's going to be caught out in his back.
I think
moving Elk up.
This is fake, guys.
Got to be careful then. Oh, they tried to get the play onto Elk. Miss out on the deadly flourish there, but they're going to turn back onto the dragon, and they will end up getting a neutral objective for themselves.
Let's get our waves, guys. I think Beichuan not contesting for that dragon is the right play. He's almost half a level over his opponent right now, and him getting these camps is really, really needed if JDG want to stay relevant in this game. Scout's already down 0-2. We have not been able to really leverage this Jhin in side lanes quite yet, but still need to wait to see what Scout and how he's going to be able to utilize this Weaver's Wall.
I think we're already, even if Scout's 0-2, I think we're starting to see how much damage this Talia can really do. Why it's been such a high prio, especially for Knight, kind of a steal away from JDG, for JDG, as Beichuan will be another thief. I thought the 100 Thieves were already playing today, but apparently Beichuan is doing so yet again as he does find more camps, and Scout's getting engaged on in the side lane. I thought this was his home. I thought this was where he was supposed to be safe, but he is taken down. Scout caught in the side lane. Xiaoxu trying to catch Bin out in his side lane as he does miss that Q. And is going to try to get the kill anyways onto Bin. He's trying to take him under turret. The Q3 is going to go a little bit wide. Though JDG will have some strength with Xiaoxu now. Xiaoxu.
Okay. Okay, how much more can we get? And does On have access to teleport? Because he's recalling. He could be looking towards the top side of this map. Shun's not going to be able to steal that away. It's going to be Bin grabbing this wave. Good looks here for BLG. Not only protecting on the top side, but finding that kill onto Scout, who still doesn't have summoner spells. That was the flash from Alk and On. So I don't know how realistic it is going to be for JDG to be able to punish them, especially with neither objective spawning for 3.5 minutes.
That's a long time to have a big centerpiece to fight around on. Will be some serious damage done, and first items being completed here. Do have that Hex Plate completed for Beituan, and it will be the Sundered Sky, the most OP item in the game right now, it feels like, for Xun. But where does that item spike really relay the power for both teams? Does that enable JDG in any way?
I mean, yes, it gives them some playmaking tools, but look at how close the other members of BLG are to their first items in comparison to their opponents. I mean, Peyz is
the focus again. Beautiful combo, and it gets that much more dastardly when he just chunks all of your health. Knight finds another pick. That's 2-0 and a 0-4 Scout. He's not having the same performance he had in that game number 1.
There's no protection for Scout on these side lanes right now. Duo is too late to the play, and now BLG get to take access of the jungle. They get to use these 3 grubs and get turret plates here for Alk and make this gold lead even worse for their opponents. The best early game we have seen from BLG by far. And maybe just a calibration game in game number 1 for Beituan coming back on the lineup.
After that game not going his way, you know, the first big trundle, they definitely gave some more resources over to these solo lanes, and giving a really beautiful setup to two absolute stars of the LPL in Bin and Knight. I mean, Bin got the first pick, his Ambessa. That's not a gauntlet drop. I don't know what is. And we see a lot of the emphasis around BLG's comp being around Knight in his Shockwave setups. We've already seen Scout getting killed multiple times because of that and not really being able to escape from it. And now the Talia, which has actually a big damage dealer for JDG's comp in the hole, is going to be in that hole.
Look at these guys' items right now, bro.
Yeah, that's tough, man. That's
My
like
man
a
in the mid lane. I was gonna draw.
Solo queue. It might be an FF angle. I don't know.
Mid diff. So
mid diff.
But Beituan is putting in a lot of work here, right? Like, he is the other half of this combo, and these first 2 ultimates have felt really, really impactful. So great job here for BLG. Let's continue the steamroll. Let's try to keep taking everything from our opponents. Get more jungle camps here. There'll be a single timer that we actually see Duo work with Xun, but it is all getting gold into Alk. He has been funneled so many plates, and potentially even this entire turret here for BLG. That'll be also feats of strength going over.
It will indeed, continuing to bolster this advantage they have. Almost 4,000 gold now in this early game, only 14 minutes in. So see if they can continue that momentum here, because I do wonder, and I guess you can answer the question for me, is there a world where there's enough time in this game that JDG have that strength that the team composition kind of drafted for?
I like at 4 items, sure, but every point in before that is exactly. We're going to be in a 45-minute game at that point. So really, really tough. And Peyz opting for the Youmu's, just wants that little bit of early game skirmishing and the movement speed that it allows for this champion to be able to move around the map. Obviously very pivotal. Herald is up, Dragon is up, but both teams are on the top side of the map right now. And Scout is not really in a great position, but needs to be in one if he wants this Weaver's Wall to go well. Seems like BLG are going to avoid this and just go straight towards the Dragon.
Yeah, they do get vision on it there with the redemption from On, and will send Beituan to just start up the Dragon. Will not be on vision as he dropped that control ward just in case. Will be a lot of standing gold at least for the Rift Herald play if JDG can pull it.
There is a teleport disadvantage from the solo laners here. Obviously, Xiaoxu still has his and can show up on another side lane, but because they have this bottom lane wave so pushed in, it's becoming an issue here for JDG. They always have to tend to this side of the map. They have 3 grubs for BLG, so if they decide to overload on the one side, then that's multiple turrets going down. We saw it in game number 2 when they went for that top side play. They got 2 top turrets, got a lot of gold in the short term, but ended up losing that game in the end. And Peyz is going to be in a really tough position. We talk about priority across the map. Xayah is way, way better.
No, he's just a Jhin, man.
Like, okay, this is not necessarily like Jin as a champion, but his kit does not allow him to clear waves very quickly.
Yeah, no, not at all. You have to like wait for the dancing grenade proc to really.
It only was good when you had Static Shiv. Static Shiv solved a lot of his issues.
It was incredible. I do wonder if we'll ever see that again, but now we're going to see a play that we've seen many times before, as they didn't actually pull the shockwave combo there. And now he's going to pull it and miss it. A little bit of a combo mismanagement there from BLG. Now JDG going to turn the trigger and pull that trigger. Try to get down one pick. They're going to open up the curtains. That's a big seismic shove. Elk almost goes down, or at least on, rather. Elk does save him. The shot gets blocked by Peyz. Oh my god, Xiaoxu. You absolute Chad. Public execution went wide. Scout wants to go back forward. They get the seismic shove on a Bin. Xiaoxu has leveled the backline. He is going to turn around here as Bin goes down. Go down. It is a 2-for-1 in favor of JDG.
Oh, Lennon, they're starting to fight back. That miss from BLG opens up a window for JDG to finally get something. It's not quite the end of the series yet. There's going to be a Herald spawned in mid. Man, I mean, look,
if you watch FBI, you know.
He's coming back from base. He does have ultimate, and it's going to be unavailable for them in the next 20 seconds. What an incredible fight there for JDG, because it felt like everything had been going BLG's way.
We're going to take a look back at this one. I mean, this was something that BLG wanted, right? I'm surprised we didn't see the instant shockwave pull there just to try to kill Duo instantly. The fact that he gets out by so much time, and they overcommit here, Alk.
Yeah, and then look at this choke point here. You are playing into a Talia, into this eventual ultimate from Peyz. In this chokehold, look at how narrow this is for BLG. This is a shooting gallery for JDG. And I mean, you look towards the back end of this, like, Bin misses the flash, or misses the ult, like you had mentioned during the call. Just a lot of BLG, I think, small errors there, starting to be punished.
The cracks, man. The cracks. They're showing a little bit of miscommunication, a little bit of miscoordination. That's something I was scared of with this draft for BLG. You were dropping the gauntlet saying, we are just better. We are waking up. We are not going to go down quietly. We're going to go with something that is going to need a burden of execution. We're going to have to be at that level. And they were for the long time. They still are. 3,000 gold up. That's nothing to scoff at. But it's JDG. They're showing some life here.
Point timers in 2 minutes here. Not only is the Otacon going to spawn, which we've seen be so game-warping in every single series it has been a part of this year, but in that time, have to imagine that Knight's going to finish his 2 items. There's already 2 items completed here for Elk. Maybe Beichuan, if he gets a kill, if he gets his turn on top side, he can squeeze for that Black Cleaver.
He's shredding them, but JDG are coming with a response from Sun. It will be a 3v2, but it will get them to turret in the end. So just a bit of pressure on Xiaoxu, and they will move away.
Man, JDG getting one of these dragons might save them here in this game. No, not a soul point here available for BLG. They're going to recall. I need to see these items. Damn, Beichuan, he gets double longsword? Really? You must have been, he must have just basically come off of base. That is worth nothing here. And there's that second item for Knight. So
3 second item completions.
Yeah, with this has to be the fight that BLG wins. From here, we snowball the game. Let's play around the Otacon, which is on the bottom side of the map. Turn that into an objective lead. Because aside from that, I'm scared about BLG's late game. Not just from this game, but how they have looked across the year so far.
It's so tough, right? We've seen the cracks in the armor. That's why we make fun of it. That's why we make a joke about it. Because BLG haven't been the consistent piece they have been. Now the paranoia is coming in. There's the shockwave combo, but it's blocked a lot of damage there as they do end up getting the pick, though, onto Duo. Xiaoxu has showed up. He's trying to kill On. In the end, Shun also goes down, and a couple quick play calls from BLG, and they are right back in the driver's seat. 5,000 gold up.
That's the Otacon immediately going over to them. Great spot. Maybe they go for a second one here.
They got him. That's all you need. Scout will go down for a 6th time in the game, and he's almost got 100% death participation here, as that will be the Dragon going over to BLG and the Otacon. They get their cake and eat it too.
All right, that might just be the only part of the game where JDG looked good, because Lennon, I was ready to be like, okay, JDG can mount a comeback. We can see a closer game 3 here. And everything's starting to deflate if you're a JDG fan. It is not looking tight at all.
I gotta ask. Is Knight scoffing at Scout right. He's like, you took my pick to do that?
You took my Galio, you smashed me.
You took my Talia to go 1-6?
Gotta show him who's the man. Knight has built an empire in this league. Ever since he joined the league, he has been, I think, MVP or at least in All-Pro votes in every single split. He has the most All-Pro votes out of any single player in the entire league at 14, which is nuts for a player that has only really joined about halfway through the lifespan of the LPL.
I mean, he has a firm grip on the mid lane. I mean, he is the GOAT, it feels like at this point. He's won championships for so many different organizations in the LPL's history, and he is always in the forefront of the conversation. There's reason why they fear his Ahri, why they banned it away from him here. They don't want to give him the tools. When he is ramped up, he is the most terrifying raid boss the LPL has to offer. Let's see if he can continue to ramp that up here. 4-0-2 and 10 stacks on that Magi. He was at 4-0 something last game on the Rise when they were losing. So he's definitely having the best performance so far on BLG. And here we go again. The round and round time for JDG is they don't actually end up pulling the kill on him. Scout will have to go gold, and they use everything to protect him. And now Redemption's coming in. Duo will have to get away. And they do get a decent amount of healing back for JDG, but they'll lose a lot of pressure in that mid lane.
Xin Zhao is way too resilient as a champion to be able to go in on. That was the Weaver's Wall and the Crescent Guard. BLG want to see if they can force. There's a lot of movement around this mid turret. They want to get this final mid-tier 1.
Okay, they're just going to get the Blade Caller damage on the Xiaoxu. Xiaoxu tries to get the all-out. He gets publicly executed, and a double kill comes through for Bin. Now Peyz has nowhere to run. A seismic shot from Scout is going to separate them a little bit, but he goes down in the end anyways. It is a 3-0 in favor of BLG.
There we go. BLG of old is back. We're going to take control of mid. We're going to try to slam you in these team fights. Some minor errors here and there, but it feels more like stepping stones for BLG. Let's take control of the jungle and just run this map. This is the BLG that we were expecting coming into the series that was going to look so good going into JDG.
Yeah, where were you? You were late to the party. They have shown up in style now, and you see it all keyed off on this siege they were putting in mid lane.
Scout being this far behind, does it get canceled? So W, he just doesn't. Yeah, he just tried to use his W to try to push them away. Doesn't use the all out, and by the time this two-man flick happens, it's too late. There's no damage. Scout is so far behind that he's quite useless. It is on Peyz, on Shun to be those damage dealers, and maybe Xiaoxu if he gets his all out, but another one. Oh boy.
Another one. And another one.
So
I did the math.
I was looking. Knight, since he joined, has only missed a single split of All-Pro votes.
That's crazy.
Can you guess which one that is?
Was it back in like 2021?
It'd be 2022 spring.
Oh.
It was rookie, Xiaoxu, and Scout.
That was a good year, though. That was a good year. Oh, man. That's crazy. I mean, Knight, he's the golden left hand for a reason. I think he's showing it here on the back of two really good series games, at least, in the last game on the Rise, even though faltering a little bit in the end. But here on the Orianna, wanted to make a mark. I don't know if Beitwan's a puppet, but if he is, it's looking real good. And Knight's found a lot of promise in a puppeteering career as we move forward, but that's going to be JDG trying to get back into their own jungle, moving out with that Weaver's Wall, and Scout misses literally everything. Meanwhile, Blade Caller is going to trap down Xiaoxu a little bit. Non's going for the Grand Entrance combo. Oh, Public Execution goes wide again, but they have the damage. They try to take him down. Oh, that Worked Ground is going to do a lot here, as the Unraveled Earth does not do much in the end, as it doesn't really block any of that escape from PLG, and they are just taking everything at this point. Scout is down yet again, and that is a legendary death spree right now for him. And they are just playing with their food at this point.
Oh my god, guys, we are really dragging this fight out. Let's get this Baron. Ghost dead. All right, Shun, let's get in there, brother.
Oh, he used the all out. There you go. He used it. Now they're just trying to take down the Baron. Oh, the double combo. He got the curtain call coming through, but it's not nearly enough damage. And Shun's going to go down too. He just wanted to join his brethren as the Baron goes over in BLG. They're over 10,000 gold up.
Jesus Christ, this looks tough. What, like...
These are blowouts in like sub 30 minutes.
Hey guys, so welcome to the series. We started a little late. Let's just draw here. There we go. Look guys, it's game 1!
Yeah, it's game 1.
Oh yeah, look, you can't even
Easy.
tell.
Easy. No problems there whatsoever, I'm sure.
But
JDG would not be very upset. But it is a very big comeback from BLG.
This is so important for BLG to find this back. We need to have them in contention because they're a team that I think is good for the league in sense of having top players or having really highly mechanical players push towards top end teams is going to help us hopefully kind of compete internationally. And BLG historically has been that team that can be really, really deadly if they get deep into a playoff run. But it all starts here.
I want to see both these teams at Worlds.
Exactly. This is both teams, obviously BLG much more expected to make it to Worlds. We started off the year talking about JDG as a super team, and that is completely tapered off as we've seen their season unfold. So we need to get this kind of series to be really even, or at least with BLG back in form.
So we see the siege coming down. Still about 1:40 on the Baron buff here, and another Paranoia just to make them scared as he goes in with the Shockwave combo. Actually, Shockwave wasn't even used. There's a public execution coming in from Bin. It does hit onto the back line onto Peyz. He's going to burn that barrier. He's going down, though. We're getting just to the absolute catastrophe that is the end of this game. Alk flashing forward. He wanted his own stake in this one. As Bin is under turret, he's just tanking everything at this point. He's taking turrets. He's taking a triple kill, and that's going to be BLG getting themselves back into this series and marching towards that reverse sweep as they take a game off JDG.
All I have to say, do not let this be a 4-game series. Because the issue here is, Lennon, if I go to Gold GG, we go to LPL Split 3.
Okay,
if I didn't have Ligma, 1 second. There we go.
Okay,
Split
no
3.
That's not curable, so I'm sorry.
Like, blue side is nuts. Blue side gets a hell of a lot of wins. I look at BLG stats. They are currently 11 wins, 6 losses on blue side. 11 wins on red side, 8 on red side. You now have 2 games in a row in this series. If BLG win this next game, 3 games in a row for JDG to be on blue side.
Yep.
That becomes really problematic when we talk about champions starting to get whipped away from the pool. I mean, Talia Oriana is now gone. And Bessa is no longer in the pool. Same thing with Cassante. There's still Sion here, which I'm surprised to see going into Game 4.
There's a lot of options, but there's also a lot taken off the board already. And I really wonder what kind of draft we're going to get out of it. But I got to say one thing. I am very much reassured by BLG. The way they showed up in this game. Yes, we were talking about that bar of execution for the comp that they had and wondering, are they going to be able to reach it after what we saw in the first couple games? The coordination really needs to be there, but on paper, you just got to go in and throw the shockwave. And what did they do? They did that so many times that Scout was permanently out of the game. I think he ended 1-8 or something along those lines. And I think they knew exactly where they wanted to strike, and they were able to take advantage of it.
I'm glad that we just got this team to do something, because it would have been way worse in my mind if we just had a BLG completely whimper out of the first round of play-ins or playoffs and just look terrible, to be honest. So glad that we get to see some of it, but can they actually push this series to 5? And can they clean this up? Because regardless of how this series looks, JDG were the incoming underdogs. There is very little expectation for them. They looked terrible during the regular season. They haven't looked good since Split 1. They don't have a lot on their backs. There's not like an overwhelming sentiment from the audience, especially, for them to do very well in this series. And they're literally one game. Every single game from here on out is best of one for these guys.
Game. Yeah, if they just win the one, they get to take that step forward in that upper bracket and save their second life. And not only that, but send a shark down to the lower bracket that they don't have to deal with until a potential finals run there, or if they meet them back in that lower bracket. But I still think it's a great weight off their shoulders to actually win a game here. I do love that they were willing to just give a ton of resources to Bin and Knight, and for Bin, ended up working out in the end. It was a little bit rocky for a lot of it, but those are the guys that we need to continue pumping resources into. We haven't seen that consistency from Alk and On so far this split, but we know that when Bin and Knight are performing, they can win the series.
All right, you say Bin. I'm gonna be honest. I think Elk absolutely gapped the hell out of Peyz this game.
He did. He did.
All right. Well, one of these teams had a support, and the other one was JDG. This is not usually a conversation that we have, but On and Zhuo, very polarizing players, especially amongst us here on the broadcast. So, I like Knight obviously had a monster game, probably gets MVP for this one. Elk and On were playing incredibly aggressively, and you can do that on Zyre or Khan. How many other duos are still left? Like, Lucian Braum got broken up because Braum was taken earlier on in the series.
Yeah.
Is Kalista going to be something that we see? Corki is no longer available, a game that BLG lost. So, how much more, like, aggressive tendencies? And that was what BLG leaned on for such a long time. And I look back at the stats right here. We talked about Knight, 5th in the league for KDA, 4th in the league for DPM, 2nd in the league entirely for goal difference at 15 between him and his opponent. Elk, same thing. 5th in the league for goal difference at 15. Gold per minute, 2nd overall. Like, the goal generation and the way that they do it is by playing these lanes and trying to force their opponents. But so many different things are different about the game now. Lane swaps are a thing. So if you lose bot lane, let's take a trek to top lane. I don't have to worry about the laning phase anymore.
True.
I can play different matchups, and now the laning phase. You look at just the state of support right now. I have Spellbook.
I love Spellbook.
I love Spellbook as much as the next guy, but laning phase doesn't matter as much. So the fact that BLG have these leads is incredible, but they need to be able to replicate that throughout series.
I will also say, though, I mean, they got a great draft. Not only was it Omega comfort for a lot of the members on this team, it gave them those ins, and you get now a lovers duo who was banned away for a majority. We'll have to maybe look back at that on JDG because they were banning away the Rakan consistently in the second phase. Maybe they needed to adapt that to the first phase going further into the series, but now they don't have to worry about it. But now that duo is 7-2 for both of them, right? So 14-4, which is just incredible from them, and it gets them a leg back in the series. That's all you really need to take that momentum back in your favor.
Who knows? Who knows whether this is going to be a pit stop in the JDG story of going through this first round of playoffs, or it's going to be the start of JDG's comeback win. Again, all I want is for this to be a 5-game series.
Same.
I do not want 4 games. I don't want a gentleman's sweep here for JDG. I want us to, whoever wins game 5, better man wins at that point, right? Like, just let the better team win at that point. But come on.
There's a lot of big picks off, though. I'm really curious at any spice that we're actually going to get. I mean, I know it's early in the playoffs. Both teams still have a second life as well with the lower bracket still there. But are they going to start whipping out anything crazy, or at least getting into their niche picks a little bit more? As we're going to give away that MVP here. And I was going to say it. It's going to go to the guy that was like one-shotting every single person. Is 6-0 and 11 on the Orianna, and absolutely handled Scout on the other end of it.
Absolutely, and a very well-deserved. Knight has been one of our standout players for years now. Again, building an empire. We talked about it on the last stream that him and Chovy feel very similar for their domestic leagues. It's all about international trophies at that point, but we're done. That's at the end of game number 3.
Yeah, that's it. That means we get more than 3 games. More games than we've seen these two go at each other all year. At least split. Sorry, not year. But that means that we're going to be getting over to that game number 4. We'll see if we can get those sweet silver scrapes, or if JDG do the seemingly impossible and upset BLG. We'll see you on the other side.